Like I have said before, making videos is not my dream. I never dream about becoming a YouTuber. So I have this kind of honesty sitting here and making this ramble like again with you because I don't give a fuck about what you might think of this channel anymore or whether you will subscribe or what, but this is a honest speaking because I never dreamed about becoming a YouTuber. But writing, on the other hand, is more like a childhood dream, or not to say the least, a teenager dream that I had since 17 years old back in the high school. And I've been doing everything I could ever since I got into college. I started writing stories from novella, short stories to long stories, and then sending them to the magazine or posting them on the internet. And that, and writing literature was like a very willful girlfriend of mine. Sorry if you mind, I addressed literature as girlfriend because I thought it just fit more than addressing it as a boyfriend. Alright, so literature has been like a kind of hard girlfriend to me, and for over these years we are experiencing like temporary breakups and getting back together and then breaks up again and then getting back together again, and I was constantly in this pulling and dragging, this kind of dilemma. And that also I am a Gemini, so I was kind of living this duality ever since I was born, and whenever I face some kind of trouble in writing, I tend to just like escape to another realm that is also like within the realm of creativity. So when I got trouble in writing, I just fly to video making or painting or photography, whatever shit that might work at the moment. Like I tend to go with the flow. I tend to read the energy flows within me, within this body, this aura, and to get things go smoothly. And so that, talking back to making videos on YouTube, I can say that I have been quite engaged on this platform over the last year, and it didn't work really well to me. Like I'm not asking a lot. I'm just like, if it was an investment, I can consider that it was a bad investment because I'm barely, like the views are not good. Like I should be honest with this. The views are not good, and I'm living off people's random support and random donation, and there are people like getting in the supporters group, and I feel kind of guilty. But it didn't go well anyway. So I was like, a few days ago I was like, yeah, maybe I should it's time to go back to the writing. And it's time to go back, chasing the so-called dream. But like, I can just say that writing novel, like making videos, is never as striking or deep down touching the soul as writing novels. So writing novel feels like a soul mission. And now I am doing it again, and I'm writing things again. I'm start reading things again, and they all just feel like more stable. But because I was writing in my mother tongue, and I could write it 10 times faster than writing in English. I also write in English, But the way that I write in English is kind of a struggle, because I don't naturally just open my computer and start typing English. Sometimes I have a problem of translating the things that I want to say and write it down in English, or I have to go on, like, look up dictionary or ask ChatGPT for help to write that sentence down. And like, sometimes I spend a whole day and I could only get like maybe like 1,500 words down in English. And not to mention that I didn't read quite a lot of books like in English. I mean, in that language. I just started to read books in their own language recently. And this is the book that I was reading recently. I actually bought this book in Japan in an old bookstore. This is Annie Frank's diary. I was on 142 page. That was quite like a miracle, because I think I read this kind of things a lot faster than before. Because a few years ago, if you asked me to read an English book, I would like, yeah, maybe a short story, because the long novels are just too hard, and I gotta stop from time to time, constantly, frequently, to look up the dictionary, because I got stuck by the vocabularies that I don't know. And now I can read it faster, maybe because I'm starting watching a lot of YouTube videos and starting to speak in English on my own, and that help improve my ability to read. I don't know. And I kind of possess this two languages, Chinese and English, at the same time in my brain, and that I'm not bragging, but I can actually write the same story in two versions, given that if you're writing in Chinese, it's going to be this way, but if you're writing in English, it's going to be that way. So recently I'm writing, yeah, it's so crazy, but I'm writing the story in two languages at the same time. But of course, writing in Chinese would be a lot faster than writing in English, because Chinese is my mother tongue and I don't need to look up a dictionary to write things down. So I was more clinging to writing in Chinese. So I went back writing in Chinese. And then it turns out that, like, every day I wrote 3,000 to 4,000 words. Like every day, every single day, I'm just starting this again. And previously I've been writing things in English, and that was like 1,500 words a day, and it was very frustrating, because I constantly looking up dictionaries and it's like solving a mathematic problems, kind of hard. And when I switched back to writing Chinese, the plot of the story, and the fabric of the story also kind of change a little, because like, you have to understand that I have never been to any Western countries, not UK, not USA, so even though I managed to write the story in English beforehand, in advance, before, but the story still happened in China, so happened in this country, Chinese speaking country. So when I switched the story language back to Chinese, from English to Chinese, the story kind of developed itself in a more realistic way, while when I was writing the story in English, it tended to be more fictional. Do you understand the difference here? So when I was writing in English, I tend to make up some characters that didn't exist in the reality. But when I switch it back to Chinese, and all the plots and all the characters like start to have flash and start to have like a real person in it, and those characters are the actual figures that I know in real life, are the actual persons that took part in that period of time, that period of events, you know. And also because I could write faster in my mother tongue, and it turns out that I had a lot of free time back. So I don't need to spend a whole day from the daylight to the night, to the middle of the night, sitting in front of my computer and trying to get some English words down. But instead, I can just, I can just do everything like in the wind, and I get things down very quickly, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 words, maybe just like in a couple of hours and down. And then I got a lot of time that I don't know what I can do. Just at the time right now, I'm sitting here because I thought I can talk about this boredom. And I just really want to get something published this year. And I don't care whether it is in English, whether it is in Chinese. I just want to get something published this year. And you can see from my previous videos that I am the one that like to talk. Yes. Because I like to talk about my feelings, I like to talk about my thoughts, and that's why people kind of subscribe to this channel, I assume. And that all my travel vlogs didn't work pretty well, maybe because I didn't talk a lot in the videos, or I didn't say anything or show anything meaningful to their lives. I don't know. And I don't know either whether this video means anything to you that I'm watching right now. But yeah, again, I have to embrace this boredom of chasing one's dream. And do you know Haruki Murakami? He's like a Japanese writer. So he once said that writing novels are like doing a marathon, and you have to be very royal, and you have to have that consistency. You have to have that stamina to bring yourself from the beginning of the story all the way back to the end of the story, and it was very frustrating. And he would start his day by doing a jogging, like maybe from 6 o'clock, and he would run for hours, and then he got to his desk and start writing, and he would write a fixed amount of content every single day. And then in the afternoon, he finished his writing and he went to reading books, and then he slept very early in the night, maybe like 9 o'clock or even 8 o'clock, and then the other day repeat the routine. That's fucking bored. Yeah, that's fucking bored. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that at first, when I first got back to writing, I was very happy, and I can feel that flow of plot, that kind of vividness, that kind of playfulness, like back in this body, and I was very happy for that. But as time went by, it's starting to appear more and more like a responsibility, a duty, a job. Yeah, because I was doing just the same as Haruki Murakami. Every day I wake up around 8 o'clock, I got some tea, I got some coffee, and then stand it, and then sit in the table, and then start to, fucking think about a plot and write the thing down. And then I would normally finish my writing around 2 or 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's just how early it could be. I finish a day of work, and then I would just like go downstairs. Um, like the sun around 3 o'clock is very refreshing. I don't know. It's kind of hot. It's kind of warm, but it's not hurting. So I'll go downstairs in a stroll, like Andy Dufresne, out of prison. Fuck that, and get some Coke, get some drinks, get some refreshing feelings. And day after day, I have to repeat this kind of routine until the first draft of my story gets finished. And then maybe I can take some rest. And then I go back, trying to see if there is anything I need to revise. And then maybe I start all over, or I just do some polishing, and then I just send it to the publisher. That's the whole routine here, and then I know it very well because I've been through it several times before. And I also think that I think I am getting better in this routine, and I don't know, somehow my patience is getting better and better, and somehow my desire of getting my things published is getting stronger and stronger, and all this desire, all this sophisticated abilities is pushing me to sit down and get things down. But yet again, I have to say that it is kind of unbearable, this amount of boredom, and that I have to sit here and talk about my feelings. And I don't know whether it is because I'm a Gemini that I constantly need to get distracted from my job. Like, I have to admit that sometimes I even have to get distracted from chasing my dream. And that is quite ridiculous because I seem to have the need to live in a duality. But in fact, I should have focused on only one path. That path is my dream. And seems that my dream is like becoming a writer, then I should be fully focused on writing things. And I don't know. But maybe this is my mode. I never know. But I feel like this year I have to make something happen. This year I'm 25 years old. And also because the story that I was writing, I'm not just writing this for myself. I'm writing this for some of my friends and some of my college buddies, and we have a kind of very interesting memory back then, and I want to bring this story out. So I really want to get this book down, but I don't want to talk about this in this video. I may talk about this later when I finish the draft, but this video is about boredom of chasing one's dream, and I guess maybe I can meditate some time, or just to live with this kind of boredom. But like, yeah, this is nothing new to me. I have experienced this amount of boredom back in college, when every day I just went to the library, get a seat, open my computer and start writing things. This is nothing new, and I'm quite used to this status. So anyway, well, this is it. Please don't expect a regular update. It would be just if there is anything I would like to share, I will get back to this channel. And thank you so much.